Okay, good morning, everyone, and good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in whichever part of the world. It's my great pleasure to deliver the keynote address for the National SME Conclave. I think I think I'm just going to make 4 or 5 points which contextualize why, in my view at least, this particular conclave is very, very critical, and I hope the participation remains high, and I hope the content that you receive from the various speakers allows us to give some reason why as to why this particular segment really needs special care and mention in our conferences. I think first and foremost, I think if you look at just the SME population, right? I think it's roughly about 6.5 crores enterprises that we have in the country. That's 65 million. I mean, some of them will be employing 4 or 5 people, some will be employing 25, 30, going all the way up to about 100 people or so. But even if you take just 10 on average, right, these SMEs employ, that means about 65 crore people, 650 million people. Now, that's a huge economy by itself. Just the taxes paid by the business, the spending by the employees, the GST that these people generate, and the general produce that they do. So I think just for anyone to understand, if India is to achieve its ambition of $5 trillion in the immediate run and then $10 trillion in the longer run, we must make sure that the SME segment of India is really encouraged in every manner possible. I think we have seen a lot of effort from the government authorities over the last few years to ensure so, but now it's for us as industry, as financial services partners, as digital partners, as NASCOM to ensure that these enterprises flourish and grow over the coming years or so. That's one part. So therefore, from a macro perspective, it's superly important that we get this right. I think the second thing I would highlight that is that just wanting them to grow will not make it happen, right? Ultimately, business needs capital, and that capital is either the own capital, typically in this instance of the family or the promoter or the entrepreneur, or the other is the formal level of finance that the banking system or the NBFC system should provide. It has actually been the case that this sector, by and large, been deprived of capital. It's been deprived of capital for various reasons. Some of them are quite well known. The balance sheet doesn't really disclose everything that we want, but now we have a great advantage that the data footprint, and India is absolutely fantastic, right? It is the data rich country of all time. The biggest beneficiary of that should be SMEs, right? We have to use data to do to SME financing what data has done for financing in the retail segment, right? In the last 10, 15 years, the number of people who have become eligible for individual loans, mortgages, car, two-wheeler, personal, credit card, etc., is because of data. We now need to do the similar thing for SME financing. Use the data, the financial system, the banking system, the NBFC system, the excellent payment systems that we have. We have to use that to determine a much higher level of credit worthiness of SMEs than what is reflected using the financial numbers they have. Could be using the GSTN filing, this could be using the ROC data, the MCA data, or whatever. So that's the other thing that I think, apart from the large system that we have, I think financing, we are at the cusp of a breakout of financing in this sector, and that fills me up with hope and optimism, not just for this sector, but for the country at a wider level. The third thing I'm going to talk about is, again, the digital payment infrastructure that we have, which is really plays to both the NASCOM agenda as well as the SME agenda. It is without any doubt that India's payment infrastructure today is world class. It's not just world class, it's better than anybody else in the world. I mean, the number of payment options all of us carry on our mobile phones now, from the various payment companies to QR codes to the bank apps, which are again as good as anywhere else in the world. But this is not just about the consumer. It's also because any SME that wants to sell something, right? Today, it is so easy for them to make payments and to receive payments. And that fills up people with confidence. Ask any small consumer today, if they put out products either through e-commerce platforms or specialized platforms, the payment journey or the collection journey is so much more efficient. Similarly, the footprint that these digital transactions create, it creates a database for them to mine to find newer and newer consumers. Just imagine if you're a small SME in a tier 3 town somewhere in Rajasthan, till now restricted only to serving customers that you could reach out to, physically reach out to, or people who trusted you, believed in your brand, believed in your service. Now the whole journey of sending goods all over India, if not all over the world, has become so much easier using technology, digital payment infrastructure. And again, I hope that these are the kind of conversations that we get to hear over the course of this conclave. I think just finally, from an HSBC perspective, we are absolutely committed to the startup SME cause. We have a specialized vertical which is focusing only on onboarding new startups, starting from both the PE side, all the way to the OpCo operating companies in India. I think we are seeing in cities like Bangalore in particular, Gurgaon, in Hyderabad, in Chennai, everywhere, Mumbai, Pune, we are experiencing dozens, if not hundreds of such entities coming up. And on the back, not just of easy availability of capital or FDI or PE money. I think people think that's the reason. I think the main reason why these people are attracting capital is because they're all coming out with brilliant ideas. I think the word they most commonly used is disrupt. There are activities which have been done in the same way, including by banking sector, where clearly these people are coming out with brilliant ideas, simple solutions, easy to experience, easy to deliver. There is capital available to back them up. And now we are stepping in as a bank or as a banking industry, if I may say so, to ensure that the proper banking services they get, should there be a need for a little bit of working capital, that also we can support. We can provide governance advice, and we can generally steer these companies from being startups to go to their growth journey. So very happy to partner them and very happy to be partnering for this in Conclave as well. Overall, I think from my side, I think I will conclude by saying that if we get, I'll repeat, if we get the SME sector right as a country, we are well on course to achieve the country's ambition of $5 trillion in the short run, $10 trillion in the long run, and overall become a country where there's a lot more entrepreneurship, a lot more enterprise, and more workforce joining the formal labor force, and therefore a much better place for us and our future generations. Thank you very much for inviting. Thank you.